Check 1 2. Check 1 2. What in the world? Are y'all both in the same game?
What's your name?
My name is Bill. You can call me Tim.
I don't know how to do that. What? DJ? No, no. The private match code.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna try to jump on this bandwagon. What is it called? Among Us?
Yeah.
A fungus among us? Just kidding. What's up, y'all?
Oh my gosh, the walking speed is so slow. It's gonna be difficult to get 4 people into the same match.
I'm not playing right now. I'm gonna download it and I'm gonna play it.
So what was your time yesterday? You said that thing.
12:02.
It was 11:37 last time with one shoe. Come on now. You told me it was 11 something.
I said 13:13.
Yeah.
You told me 11:30. I thought you said 11.
No, he said 13:13.
I thought you said 11:13.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you should.
What? That was needed. You needed it. I needed to remind you. I do owe you ice cream. I do feel bad because I do remember saying that, but at the same time, like half of your team was not there, and half your team was not here. So it would have been worse if, like, half your team, you know how Aiden gets. I'm just kidding. Oh man. Okay. Let's see. Is this the third Sunday of September?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I thought. All right.
I think we've all.
All right. Yeah, it's extremely weird because like you gonna kill me like you did in my dream? No. Okay. I'm just kidding. I've never had that. I've never had that. Please don't go home and be like, Richard was really weird this morning. No, it is super weird because you're just like, yeah. Do what? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's happened to me. All right. Ninth grade. Who's in ninth grade? Chris. Allison. JC, you're in ninth grade? Okay. There's Bryden. Bryden's not in ninth grade. Bryden's in 10th grade. Bryden's in 10th grade. Bryden's in 10th grade. Hey, y'all know what we were talking about just earlier? Hey, can you? We were talking about you ever have dream somebody, like dream and there's somebody in your dream that you know, and then you see them the next day. Oh, maybe. No, nobody has that dream. All day long, you're watching her, and she's like, "Come over here, try my soda." I need to tell you something. Come here, just you, nobody else. No, I'm good. The gun is for my protection. What? All right, not 7th through 9th grade. We got one. Okay, so that would be 7th through 9th grade. Ethan should be here. Oh my goodness. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 4. All right, and that means everybody else is in high school. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 10 through 12th. Y'all raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 7 through 9th. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna put him down because he's on his way. 5. Oh, so where do I count myself at? Well, they're in different. Y'all are in different books. What?
Well, normally you're supposed to count the adult. Since you're the teacher or adult for all three, would you count yourself 3 times or?
That's a very good question. I don't think so. I just put myself in with the high school. Story of my life. All right. I hope they can hear me. All right, y'all. Sorry, those of you who are watching later on. It's me trying to get this right. I hope. This looks weird. I got to figure out a better way of. Maybe like that. Are you saying I have ear hair? Ooh. Oh, beard hair. Oh. Yeah, I thought you said ear hair.
We all know you have your hair, Richard.
Hmm?
We all know you have your hair.
I do. Everybody does. Never stops growing. It's just. Anyway, it is disgusting. Sorry. Bet you this is Logan. I bet you this is Logan. Nope, it was Ethan. There's Logan right behind him. I was 90% right. They're not late. They showed up exactly when they're. Did y'all enjoy the movie last night?
Yeah.
So, I thought it was a good movie. Jesse, did you like the movie?
I've seen that movie somewhere.
Did you? Parker liked it. Allison, did you like it? Yeah.
I've seen that movie before.
I think what we ought to try to do one time is rent out a movie theater.
That'd be cool.
That'd be awesome.
What movie would we watch?
Emory said that'd be expensive.
Well, your house? Come to your house? Well, I'll just come to your house. Wait a minute, your house? Your house has furniture. Oh, your movie room. We could bring our own, you know. Yeah. He made Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises. That's Christian Bale. All 3 of those are Christian Bale. Anyway. Well, you know, that's what I'm here for. Yeah, that's accurate. Well, today we've been talking about, like, you know, honoring. We talked about honoring, like, God last week. This week we're talking about honoring our parents. How do you stay out of trouble? I'm gonna ask that question. How do you stay out of trouble? Just with your parents? How do you stay out of trouble with your parents? By not doing. All right.
How I stay out of trouble is before I get involved in video games, I ask if anything that needs to be done.
All right. All right.
They want me to do something, I really don't want to do it.
All right. And how do you stay out of trouble, Will or Chris? You just
I try to.
All right, Hayden.
You don't even try to avoid trouble.
I try, but you can.
Oh man.
I look for it.
Parker, how do you stay out of trouble? You just do it. All right. Are you perfect 100% of the time?
No.
No. Yeah. Um, I whenever I was a teen, I learned from my brothers because I'm the youngest of like four, and I learned from the mistakes. And so, I mean, I made my own batch of trouble. But like, as far as like getting in trouble for like, I never had a curfew. It was because like I knew, okay, I need to call my mom and dad and let them know where I'm at and let them know that, when I, and not stay out super late, except, if I'm with a best friend of mine. Um, and there was one time I was out super late with my best friend, and it was my mom hadn't met him yet, and it was like it was like 1 in the morning, and my mom called my other friend because they had the same name. Both were named James, except one was called Jimmy, and we called him Jimmy Joe. The one that actually was James. Well, come to find out, my mom called. She goes, "I looked in your phone book and I called a Jimmy," and I said, "Oh no, mom, that's not who I was with. I told you I was with James." And she goes, "Oh no." Well, come to find out, my friend Jimmy thought it'd be a great idea to try smoking, and his mother was like, "Well, I don't know. They might be in the barn in the back," because my friend Jimmy Joe had a barn, and he was into, he liked play guitar, and so he ends up getting in big time trouble because he was smoking when his mom walked in and caught him smoking in the barn, and so he got in big time trouble, and I think he got grounded, and I saw him. We worked at McDonald's together in Conway, and I saw it the next day, and he goes, "Dude, I got in trouble because of your mom." And I was like, "I'm sorry, man. I didn't, I didn't know." But I did not get in trouble, like apart from like, my mom didn't know which Jimmy I was with. But it's because like, and I said to her, I said, "I told you I was with," and so, but yeah. Um, but I made my own batch of trouble. I knew I would go too far whenever like my mom was really mad. And I was like, oh, yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about? Like you get that it's either like the look, or if you ever made your mom cry, it's the worst feeling in the world, right? Don't ever make your mom cry. It's the worst feeling in the world. Do what? Um, I just made her really mad one time, but that was it. And when I saw that happening, I was just like, oh, I'm sorry. That's when you're just wrong, and I, you know, but I never, I just learned from my brothers. And so I never got grounded from like doing things. My brothers, on the other hand, they would get grounded all the time. And they'd be like, "Y'all were so easy on him." I was like, "It's because I learned from you guys what not to do, stay out of trouble that way." Yeah. I don't, well, I don't know. He was the one that for a time. What, did you lose your phone? Didn't you lose your phone for like a day? See? Yeah, but you were in trouble. Anyway, well, we're going to talk about honoring our parents today. And so I'm going to show you this video, and it's called, I don't know what the NCC Q10 is. It's some sort of like, maybe it's like some sort of, it was an organization or something. And this is like a question that was asked. What does God require in the fourth and fifth commandments? And then we're gonna spend some time talking.
If we read the entire Bible, Old and New Testament, we come to see that the command to remember the Sabbath day has two aspects to it. First, it's a crucial practice. In our lives, we're commanded to have a rhythm of work and rest, and we are forbidden to overwork. We're also commanded to nurture our bodies and our souls. We're not supposed to only nurture our bodies, we're supposed to rejuvenate our souls through fellowship and through prayer and devotion and worship every week. It's also true, however, the New Testament shows us that the Sabbath day points to a deeper kind of rest. Hebrews 4 in particular says that when we believe in Christ and the gospel, we rest from our works, which means the great burden of having to prove ourselves and having to earn our salvation is lifted from us. In this life, we get much of that deeper rest, and yet it's only completely realized in the future, in the new heavens and new earth, and we look for that, and we long for it. It's deeply consoling, especially at times in which we're very weary. The fifth commandment to honor our parents should also be read in light of the gospel. The command says that as children we should obey our parents. As adults we should respect and listen to our parents. And yet the gospel also reminds us that God is our Father, and by grace we're brought into his family, and he is our primary source of love. And if our primary filial relationship is with him, then we are able to love and honor our parents well. Not on the one hand, depending too much on them, but not on the other hand, looking to them for that which only can be found in God.
All right. So essentially, the thing that we're going to talk about today is that God calls us to honor our parents in the same way we honor him as our heavenly Father. You know, it's kind of you know, spoiler alert, but you can't have a really good, solid relationship with God if you don't like strive to try to honor your parents. You know, and so we're going to spend some time unpacking that. Open up your Bibles to Exodus 20:12. All right. Okay. You're done. All right. This is what it says. Exodus 20:12. It says this. Somebody read it. I don't want to read it. Somebody read it. Go ahead, Emery.
Honor your father and your mother so that you may have a long life in the land that the Lord your God is giving you.
Awesome. There are, let me ask, what is honor? What does it mean to honor? Respect. What else? Listen. Okay. What does it mean to honor? Acknowledge. Okay. Means to, does it also means like to obey, right? You know, to listen, to respect, to care. In the New Testament, honor kind of specifically means this idea of to value highly, to hold something in the highest regard. And, you know, we do that today, don't we? We honor, like, you know, we honor our veterans, we honor our, you know, we honor our teachers, our, you know, people that have committed themselves to like public service, you know, and stuff like that. And so, you know, we kind of hold, that's the same thing, you know. God made it clear that honor and respect are elements that are to be in, it's essential in every home. You know, we are to honor and respect those over us. And in our home, it's usually our mom and dad. Now, I realize that sometimes that mom and dad might look like grandpa or grandma or aunt or uncle or somebody else, right? You know, God is serious about honoring parents because God understands the whole picture. So, you know, the thing from here is that, you know, when Exodus, when he says honor your father and mother so that you may have a long life in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. There's these three kind of categories of honor that we can look at and kind of understand. We can honor with chips, like we honor our parents by spending time with them through showing concern, and by doing things that they ask us to do, like when they say pick up your room, and you might not think that that's honoring, but truth be told, it is, because you're helping the family out and you're helping mom and dad out by, mom and dad said, I need to do this, I'm going to do this. If mom and dad say, be home by a certain time, and sometimes we think that that is the worst in the world. Does anybody else have an issue with curfew? Like, why can't I stay out until 11 o'clock? Or why can't I stay out until midnight, right? What? But, for some of us, we might like to have that. But think about this. You're helping the family out, because I can promise you this, as a parent, your parents are worried about anything that could happen, and it's not that they don't trust you, but they just know how the world is and how life is, I mean, yeah, you might be a good driver, for example, but are you being a good driver? Is that going to stop the deer from running out at last minute notice to hit you, or is it going to stop somebody else? The fact that you're a good driver, does that mean that somebody that might be a drunk driver is not going to, because you're a good driver, are they not going to hit you? No. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen in that, and so, you can honor your parents, just by, being home when they want you to be home. And it's not because they're being, cruel overlords. It's because they care about your safety. And so we can honor with relationships. We can honor, with our words. Um, you know, um, Even when your parent, and your parents are not perfect. I don't know if you know this, but your parents not perfect. You know, I'm not perfect. I'm 90% perfect, but I'm not 100% perfect. Okay. So there are occasions when I do mess up, or I do, or I might do something that Ethan feels is unreasonable, or Logan feels is unreasonable, or Jonathan is just like, well, I'm going to do it anyway, Dad. Um, but we honor our parents with our words, even, and you can disagree with your parents and do so in a respectful way, but at the end of the day, you're still called to respect and honor your parents. But we can respect them with the words that we say, right? um, in honor with our attitude. It's one thing to do something and to do it with a bad attitude, like Jonathan, for instance. Jonathan, when he doesn't want to do something and I go to tell him to do something, or Crystal goes and tells him to do something, this is his usual reaction. He does that, right? And I'm sorry, Chris, didn't mean to stop. And sometimes I'll sit and I'm in the next room and he doesn't realize, but I can hear what he's saying. And he's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want, and he gets mad and upset. And, in that moment, he's not honoring his parents with his words, because he's kind of being mean and ugly sometimes. And so he has a bad attitude, and he's not really honoring with his attitude, right? It's one thing to do something begrudgingly, and it's a totally different thing to do something because you respect and honor your parents. Even if it's something that you don't want to do, like, what is something you don't like to do? Take the trash out, clean the room, clean the house, okay. All right, do what? Clean the dog pen, you hate cleaning the dog pen? Yeah. But, you can honor and have a good attitude because you realize, look, if I do clean this, well, then that might mean that, like, I don't know if you get paid an allowance or something like that. That might mean that you get paid an allowance, or that might mean that, like, down the road, you might get something that you've been wanting, or something like that. And so you can have even if it's something that you don't want to do. And I completely understand that, because, I mean, there are things that, none of us want to do, but think about this. in a way, you're helping with the family, and in a way, you're learning. Whether you realize it or not, you're learning responsibility. You're learning about care, and so we can honor our parents with our attitude by having a good attitude. Now I'm not talking about like if your parents say to you, "I want you to go rob the bank." Okay, we're not talking about that, and there's other issues involved with that. But you know, when our parents ask us to do things that help out around the house, things that can be a benefit to us, we should honor them with our words and our attitude. Now, think about this, and also honoring with relationships by being loving and caring and being, understanding who you are and who your mom and dad is, or whoever that is in your life that serves as a mom and dad figure. Honoring with your words, honoring with your attitude. We're talking about honoring our parents, but is there somebody else that we're supposed to do the same with? Is there somebody else that we're supposed to honor with our words, honor with our relationship to them, and honor with our attitude? God. You see, there's this direct correlation. And after all, what do we call God? We call God what? Our what? Our Father. When you pray the Lord's Prayer in the basketball games, you pray, "Our Father who art in heaven." God refers to himself to us as Father. And so you think about this in terms of, our relationship with our parents, how we honor and respect them, how we love them and cherish them is a direct, that shows our relationship with God. Now, yeah, there are extreme circumstances, and there are parents that, that are horrible parents. But I think you guys in here have pretty good parents. Um, and whoever that parent is in your life, if it's a grandma or grandpa, even the Uncle Carls in our world, we all have, we but whoever that is, as we honor and respect them, it really kind of shows where we are at in our relationship with God. So let's kind of unpack this a little bit more. Let's look at 2 Samuel chapter 7 through 8, because we kind of see something a little bit different. But let's look at this. Who wants to read 2 Samuel, 7 through 8? Yeah.
Yet David did capture the stronghold of Zion, that is, the city of David. He said that day, "Whoever attacks the Jebusites must go through the water shaft to reach the lame and the blind, who are despised by David. For this reason it is said, the blind and the lame will never enter the house."
All right. And somebody else read 9 through 10. Ooh, I think I put the wrong passage. Yeah, it's supposed to be 15. I just realized that I have the wrong passage on there. Sorry about that. All right, let me just follow along with me and I'll read it. When 4 years had passed, Absalom said to the king, "Please let me go to Hebron to fulfill a vow I made to the Lord. For your servant made a vow when I lived in Jeshurun of Aram, saying, 'If the Lord really brings me back to Jerusalem, I will worship the Lord in Hebron.' Go in peace," the king said to him. So he went to Hebron. Then Absalom sent agents throughout the tribes of Israel with this message: "When you hear the sound of the ram's horn, you are to say, 'Absalom has become king in Hebron.'" Well, 200 men from Jerusalem went with Absalom, and they had been invited and were going innocently, for they did not know the whole situation. And while he was offering the sacrifices, Absalom sent for David's advisor, Ahithophel, the Gilonite, from his city of Gilo. So the conspiracy grew strong, and the people supporting Absalom continued to increase. So there's a little bit more to this backstory than what we've just read. The life of David's son Absalom, kind of, this is how he's the example of how not to be with our parents. All right. He was David's third son. All right. And he was born to David through his fourth wife, Maacah of Geshur. All right. This marriage was kind of likely a political sort of thing, and anytime the Bible talks about like multiple wives and stuff, it's kind of like there's usually trouble that comes after it. Um, and I think that's because, really it's, you're not supposed to do that. So, um, as you guys know full well, you're not supposed to do that. And so, anytime you kind of read all these multiple wives and stuff, not a good thing. Not a good thing. This is kind of a political thing. It was not love. Maacah was the daughter of King Talmai, ruler of Geshur, a small neighboring kingdom to the east. And almost all of David's marriages were created for the sake of political gain. All of them. And this, no doubt, kind of creates this atmosphere of jealousy and conflict in the family. He was not a perfect husband. Now, this is David, who was a man after God's own heart. David was not perfect by no means. He was not a perfect husband. He was not a perfect father. When David sinned against Bathsheba and Uriah, he was confronted by the prophet. And Nathan told the story to highlight his sins, and David himself said the offender should pay back the debt fourfold, in which Nathan says, the guy is you. And David, didn't realize that the story was a parallel of his life until that moment, and he declared his, he would end up paying back fourfold, but not in financial terms, but that 4 of his own children would actually end up dying because of it. The baby that David and Bathsheba had together died. Absalom killed his brother Ammon after Ammon raped his sister. Absalom rebelled against his father David and was slain by Joab. And even years later, Adonijah, David's son, he sought to take Solomon's throne, and Solomon had him killed. So fourfold, 4 sons he had to pay because, that he ended up dealing with it. But David's sin, however, it didn't justify Absalom's behavior. He was still responsible to honor David and to do what David had asked him, but he sought to honor himself. And anytime you focus on yourself, that always leads to disaster. When you focus on yourself for selfish reasons, that always leads to disaster. Absalom sought to take the place of his father as king of Israel. He was popular. He was well-liked, all of these things. And yet he chose to disobey his father, and it ends up costing him. And he dishonored his father with a lie. You ever try to lie to your parents? It's the worst. Don't ever try to lie to your parents, because this is the thing. Your sin will find you out. The truth always comes out. One way or the other, it's going to happen. And it's always better to be upfront and honest. And when you do that, you honor your parents. Absalom chose to lie to his father. And he told his father he was going to Hebron to worship, and instead he did go through the motions of worship by offering sacrifices, but his true intent was not worship. His true intent was to get people to look at him and make him king. Here's the truth of this whole situation. We cannot honor our parents when there's a lack of truthfulness or integrity. That's just the truth. You cannot honor your parents. You cannot have a good, healthy relationship if you're hiding things from your parents. And it also shows a reflection of God, how your relationship with God, because remember, how you respond to your parents, really kind of reflects how you respond to God. And so you cannot lie to God. You can't try to have a good relationship with God if you're not being honest and truthful. You can't have a good relationship with your parents if you are not honest and truthful. So, think about this, with dealing, how hard is it to be true, to tell the truth to your parents? How hard is it? Your parents say, did you do this? You broke something, or you did something that you weren't supposed to do, or, you were doing something on your phone or your tablet, or whatever, or your game or whatever, and you're not supposed to do. And you're asked, did you do this? How hard is it to tell the truth?
Well, after the first few times of failing, it got a lot easier.
Oh, I'm gonna pray for you. I'm gonna pray for you. But what is the fear of it? Of telling the truth that you'll get in what? Trouble, right? How much better is it if you are upfront and honest?
If you're upfront and honest, the punishment may not be as worse as you are. It's going to be a lot worse.
Yeah, there's kind of extra sauce on the punishment if it's found out. Oh yeah, you were smoking in the boys' room, or you were, or you did not clean the room like you're told, right? Or I find all your toys in your bed, something like that, right? There's something. Oh no,
Oh, no.
it's okay. It's okay. It'll match the carpet. I do need to clean that up, but anyway. Thank you. Not much. Not much. It was just a swig. It's true. But you know, I think I told y'all the story about when I was eating these cookies and my mom. I was in the kitchen. I realized that if I had simply had said yes, I would not have gotten the discipline that I would not have gotten the whooping that I got. But sometimes we do because we don't want to get in trouble because we realize we did something wrong, and so we kind of want to try to hide it. But the truth of it is that we have to be big enough to handle our responsibilities and to be honest. All right, let's see. I think I got these. Yeah, I got these. Let's wrap this up. Let's look at 2 Samuel 15, 13 through 14. Who wants to read that? Go ahead.
Then an informer came to David and reported, the hearts of the men of Israel are with Absalom. David said to all the servants with him in Jerusalem, get up, we have to flee, or we will not escape from Absalom. Leave quickly, or he will overtake us all. Keep disaster on us and strike the city with the edge of the sword.
Awesome, thank you. So Absalom's move to become king looked like it was going to work. He was popular with David's men, and he reported, and one of David's men reported that the hearts of the men of Israel were with Absalom. They looked at him as this guy, and they probably didn't realize, that Absalom's up to no good, And what we see here, and really, once again, it goes back to that relationship. We see Absalom not really caring about God, and we see it displayed by lying to David and how he didn't really care about David. And dishonor has a way of recycling itself throughout our relationships. And I think that's why it's critical for us to display this sort of respect and honor for our parents, in being honest in every aspect of our lives, especially with our parents, to be honest and truthful and open with our parents. Of course, when we sin, when we mess up, we got to seek God and mercy and ask for forgiveness. Well, the thing about it is, and no parent is perfect. No parent no parent is without fault. They're we all make mistakes. Your parents make mistakes. My parents made mistakes. And I know, like, it's kind of hard to talk about our parents, especially in this day and age, because what does it mean to honor our parents? Because we might have a friend, or we might know somebody, or it might be somebody in our family who can't live with their parents because their parents are, not good parents, or their parents are dead, or something like that, and they're living with a relative or a family member or somebody completely not even related. All parents have made choices that make it difficult for their children. to show honor and respect. But we, and the thing that we have to realize is that we are all fallen people and we're not perfect. Um, sometimes parents speak in anger when they shouldn't. Um, or they treat others with disrespect in the presence of their children. But no matter what it is, we're to honor our parents and we're to honor them. And that may mean that we have to do things that will help them to change or will help you out of that situation. If you're in an abusive home, you honor your parents by, and this may sound weird, but you can honor your parents by getting out of that house and by reporting the abuse to the authorities. And or whatever that is, or for you, if the situation is to where your parent is actually a grandparent, you honor them by being respectful and obedient to them and understanding them. But whatever it is, even in those difficult situations, you can find ways to honor and respect your parents, and that's not easy. And it can be challenging, but I promise you, God will honor that. So no matter your parents' strengths or weaknesses, you're to honor your parents, and this is what God has called us to do. And as we do that, we really show our relationship with God. And through honoring our fathers and mothers, we show honor to God. Let me just close with this statement. Through honoring your father and mothers, we show honor to God. That's just a really awesome and powerful statement. So some questions for you to think about is, how well do you honor your parents? Is it like really super good or really super terrible? Oh, by the way, how Absalom died, it's not really a great way to die. It's not like he went down in a blaze of glory. He got his hair stuck in a tree and somebody just stabbed him. He's dangling in a tree. His hair's cut. His hair's caught, and Joab just goes and kills him. Yeah, it's kind of a terrible death. It's like, there's three kind of horrible deaths. Absalom has a kind of a horrible death. Jezebel has a horrible death, falls off of a ledge and gets eaten by wild dogs. And Judas can't even hang himself. It breaks, the limb breaks, and he falls down. His guts all bust open. Good morning, happy breakfast. It's gross, yeah. So in as doesn't have a flattering death either. I guess I could say four. He has a time. Well, there's lots of unflattering deaths that happen in the Bible, but the three top ones I always think about are Absalom, Jezebel, and Judas. Yeah. Well, Saul stabbed himself with his own sword. One guy got a spike through his head when he was asleep by a woman. This woman walks up after he falls asleep and goes, kills him. Yeah. So, anyway, so so on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm not trying to say that you'll get your hair caught in a tree if you're not respectful to your parents. So I'm gonna say Richard said that. No, I didn't say that. But I think it's always good, on a scale of 1 to 10, and I dare say we're all not 10, but I dare say 99% of you are not ones. Maybe 99.9% are not ones. But I even go so far as to say that even Hayden is not a 1, but we can all improve, right? We can all improve. He's a 2. So what do you do? Think about this. What do you do well in honoring your parents? What is it you need to work on in honoring your parents? Maybe it's going to bed when you're supposed to go to bed. Maybe it's stop playing the video games when it's time to stop playing the video games. Maybe it's doing things the first time without being told 5 times to do it. I love how y'all two just stared at each other. But what do you need to grow and do? And then this is the other thing. That one thing that you have the hardest time honoring your parents with, whatever it is, I want to challenge you this week to make it the easiest thing to honor your parents with. Okay? I want to challenge you to do that, whatever it is. If it's putting up the dishes, if it's taking out the trash, if it's cleaning the dog pen, if it's cleaning, if it's getting off of the video games when you're supposed to, whatever it is, if it's washing the car when you're supposed to, if it's taking out your trash out of the car like you're supposed to, actually cleaning your room, actually doing what you told the first time. I can officially say I've never had a through thrown in church.
You're about to get tagged.
No, not right now. There you go. Oh, please give it back to her before she walks downstairs. I mean, in fact, give it back to her now. We're all dying. I'm just kidding. But whatever it is, honor your parents. And if that means to get along with your brother or sister, get along with your brother or sister or brother or brother or brothers to do that. Okay. So, anyway, love you guys. Come back tonight. We're going to continue our conversation on stretching our faith and what does it look like to let go of the things that kind of holding us back. And it may be for you, the thing that you need to stretch the most is honoring your parents. So come back tonight, 5:30. I'll have ice cream. We're gonna have ice cream tonight, and leftover Miss Nancy's brownies and the banana nut brownies that were so good. And so come back tonight. Anyway, let's pray. Father God, thank you so much for tonight. Today. Thank you for just allowing us to be here, Lord. Father, help us to honor our parents. And in a way that we do that, we show our honor and respect for you. Be with us as we go down to worship, and it's in your name I pray. Amen. All right.